The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys! This is Talkin Cowboys. Streaming live from the Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star in Frisco.
C.D. Lamb, touchdown.
Parsons has sacked it. Prescott keeps it, and he bangs it in for the touchdown.
And now your hosts, Isaiah Stanback, Patrik Walker, Josh Rodriguez, and Kyle Youmans.
It's an off-season edition of Talkin Cowboys presented by Black Rifle Coffee Company, live from the Star in Frisco, Texas, in the SWBC studios. Welcome in, everybody, as we've got Patrik Walker, Josh Rodriguez, Isaiah Stanback with Chris Beam in the back. I'm Kyle Youmans, as we are ready to rock for you today.
So you channel your inner Kendrick Lamar. Was that your SWBC?
They not like us. They not like us. I'm just trying to, just trying to staccato this thing, baby. Like, just pop, pop, pop.
Staccato is a good brand.
Thank you. Is it? It's a brand?
It is a brand.
Of what? Got it. Yeah, whatever it is.
It's a Black Rifle.
That's right. It's a kind of coffee. There you go.
Rifle.
Yeah.
Listen, speaking of Black Rifle, I need the goods because for my wife had a birthday and I got her a coffee machine.
Okay.
So now I am going to frequent Black Rifle Coffee Company because now we have a machine that really just dumped the beans.
How much was that machine? You want to say it on air?
No, not even a little.
Shouts to my Rich Moco.
Not even a little. Bro, I'm a coffee drinker now. Let's put it that way.
Here's the thing.
Thank you.
Black Rifle Coffee,
yes.
and they don't pay us any extra to say this whatsoever. But
They don't pay you?
No, not at all. They pay you. I don't get a check from them. But I will say their like actual ground coffee where that you make it in the machine is better than anything else out there. Like,
Shouts to
it's
the
not even
murdered
close.
out flavor, man. Oh,
Is that your favorite?
that's my favorite, man. Murder. I just like a coffee so dark that you like it just kind of kills you for a little bit. You know what I mean?
Really?
Like Bernie
Like
Mac?
your heart is just. You know what I mean? Like it's just
I can respect
uncontrollable.
Josh for full dark on Black History
I hate the
Month.
bag of
It's just the darkest possible.
It is
coffee.
February.
Darkest possible coffee for Black History Month. I respect it. I respect it.
man.
Kyle's
The blacker the coffee,
Josh is like it's February,
sweeter
no
the-
cream.
I hate the back and forth with his neck.
Oh, I love it.
It's February, no cream in the coffee.
No cream,
Oh man,
all
too
coffee.
good.
Oh, coffee,
Now,
no cream.
Isaiah, you said you had some news.
Oh yeah.
What's the news,
Bro, so I have to start frequenting the batting cages
Hey,
because
Hey.
I'm joining
Why
a
is that?
baseball league.
hey.
hey,
You're doing a what?
Baseball league.
Like you're broadcasting?
No.
That's really cool,
No,
dude.
that's
Good for
your,
you.
that's your thing. I am joining a baseball.
A Dallas
Okay.
League?
Wood bats, baby.
It's a Dallas League?
I don't even know.
Don't know.
I don't know. They asked me to play. I said yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I've been training my body to be an athlete again.
To get back to that point,
Bro,
what position are you going to play?
is there any other
Outfield?
position? Yeah,
Yeah.
center field.
Don't take any
gonna stick you
advice
out
from
and right.
Tommy John over here.
Bro,
You know
I
what I'm
know.
saying?
That's why I brought it up. Look, so listen.
Why-
I know you like
John
baseball.
Tommy.
I know my other gentleman over here to my right. He likes baseball.
Yeah.
I'm right.
So I'm going to the cages. Y'all want to go to the cages, man? Let's go.
Let me know.
Say
I'll go.
less.
Go.
We-
I got my wooden bats. Okay, my guy from SR Bats dropped me off.
Ooh.
Scott Rogers. Yeah, that's my
Okay.
guy. Scotty. He sponsors a lot of the
Listen,
Do you
softball
have the
events.
custom like engraving or
Oh,
anything?
yeah.
I
It's
respect
beautiful.
that
Beautiful
you got a
bats.
guy. I love that you got a guy. But also, if you're in the market for a wooden bat, check out War Stick.
Okay.
Yeah, those are solid.
Okay, WAR.
Local?
They've got a good aluminum
local,
bats, too.
downtown, owned by a former Rangers player.
Okay.
And I got a couple of nice bamboos from them. So
And if you need a corking guy, I got you. You know,
I
I'm
got
trying
to put a tennis ball in an aluminum bat to let that thing go
I
a
actually
little
cork my
further.
aluminum bats. It's incredibly hard.
Yeah, it's
cork
not.
your
Yeah.
all right.
Loaded.
Oh,
Loaded.
Yeah,
easy.
all right.
Loaded
It wasn't
bats.
that hard. You just put a
Shaved.
tennis ball and you put it
He
in.
shaved his yeah.
Bro, so I'm pretty excited about that. But
should.
trying to get my body back in shape.
Can you let us know when the games are?
I definitely will.
Need that.
But my like trying to get my body back in performance shape. Oh my gosh, bro.
Talking Cowboys Nation's going to show out to watch Isaiah
Let's freaking go.
tear an ACL
Damn right.
running down the first base.
probably what happened. I'm more worried about these hip flexors.
He's going to hit
hamstrings.
a fly ball into left center, and he's going to watch it. He's going to think it's gone, but then he's going to realize it's not gone, and that's when he takes off. Like the panic sets in. He's trying to get two, and that's when
he gets a little hype. He's going to try and run on the wall real quick.
And then we're going to see him in crutches coming around.
I get there so fast. I'm sitting on top of the wall waiting for the ball to come down.
Yeah, whatever, dude. All right. It's not 2006
I was the only one who had
anymore.
that dream.
You are.
Oh, man. Let's get into some news and notes around this football team, not the baseball team that we're talking about.
Go.
Isaiah, so you want me on that wall. You need me on that wall. All right, so not necessarily quite a few things, but a few things since the last episode. We had some vacancies that we were waiting to be finalized in the coaching staff. Those were finalized. I'm not going to go down the entirety of the list. Check out the .com. I posted the finalized list of the Cowboys coaching staff. Check that out. Alongside Tommy Yara, shouts out to him. He contributed to it as well, broke down where these guys are coming from, what the expectations are for these guys going forward. But looking down the list, let's see who we hadn't confirmed just yet. Ken Dorsey has been confirmed pass game specialist. He was just agreed to terms last we spoke, but he's on the books. Raymond Chin-Young, he's returning as an offensive assistant line coach.
He was at the press conference, by the way.
He was at the press conference, absolutely. I'm sure that did him plenty of favors to
Didn't hurt.
show some love to the new head coach. Like, hey, I'm here. Where's my deal? Where's my deal? And then we have some on the offensive side. We have a couple of new spots, I'd say. So Deal, forgive me if I'm mispronouncing it, D-E-L-E. Haven't had the chance to meet this gentleman quite yet. But Deal Harding, he joins for QB fellowship. And I am getting questions. I have the same question as your face is making right now.
Yeah, Isaiah.
You asked me this as well.
Yeah.
We're working to figure out exactly what QB fellowship is. That's not the same as QB's coach or assistant QB's coach.
That's a title.
It's hard to have fellowship when there's only one in the building, right?
Well, Will Greer's still in the building, so you got
True. Okay, you got two.
You got two.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry,
buddy.
Will.
Fellowship
Sorry,
in
buddy.
between the two. All right. Game management coordinator offensively is Ryan Feeder, so he's in the building. Switching to the defensive side of the ball, who was not under. Darian Thompson is back. So Darian Thompson, who did some work over the last couple of seasons,
Good for him.
3 seasons, he remains with the Cowboys. He's going to handle secondary and nickel corners.
Oh.
Okay. So DT is moving on up.
Was it? Yeah, so he was primarily special teams, wasn't he?
was primarily
Good for him, man.
Yeah, so he's moving up. Defensive assistant and quality control is going to be J.J. Clark, and also in that role is going to be Tanzel Smart. Special teams, we already had Carlos Polk confirmed as an assistant special teams coordinator for Nick Sorensen. And strength and conditioning is pretty much the same cast: Harold Nash, Kendall Smith, Cedric Smith. There were a couple other names that popped up, but then they disappeared from the final roster, so I'll get clarity on those before I mention those names.
Now, Tanzel Smart, former New York Jet.
Yes.
So he was just playing last year, was he not?
He was.
Interesting.
He's opening up his coaching career here in Dallas.
It's not bad.
Made the
And
pivot.
he's not the first on this staff to do so. There are several who started, whether it been like an assistant or that kind of role, intern role, and now they're back.
I just think it speaks volumes for Tanzel coming over with Aaron White-Cotton in that, like, he was just
100%.
playing for him.
100%.
Interesting.
I said, I want that guy. If you're done playing, come start coaching. So I like that.
Means a lot.
And then I was able to speak with Micah Parsons. This past weekend, he was doing some fantastic work in the community. He was at the Great Wolf Lounge out in Grapevine. And Lodge, sorry. And he was making...
He had a lounge too, I'm sure, man.
There's a lodge on the other. There's a lounge on the other
I
side.
synced it.
On the other side of the road, there is a lounge.
But Michael was out there. He was making the day of several Make-A-Wish kids.
Nice.
And it was fantastic.
Great
It looked like a fun event.
It was
bowling
so
and-
fun. So Great Wolf Lodge,
Yeah.
they're opening up, new sections of gaming like bowling, laser tag,
Bowling, you
some football, a little bit of golf, and Michael was just making the rounds with those kids, and it was just a fun day of watching him interact with those kids. And I'll tell you, even though it was the Make-A-Wish kids, Micah,
Let him have it.
that guy, he's competitive in everything.
Literally,
Yeah, a
everything.
couple of times I was like, Micah,
I talked to him
you should
about
probably let him win.
No, they got to know.
I did an SWBC mortgage event with him previously, like one of our other sponsors in the building. He was competitive about like paying a mortgage.
Everything.
Like literally anything he does has a competitive nature to it. It's really impressive.
And after the laser, they did 2 rounds of laser tag. To that point, they did 2 rounds of laser tag. After the first round of laser tag, Micah didn't necessarily like the score. He said the score was inaccurate, so he was like, run it back, run it back, run it back. They run it back, and
dip, dive, dodge, duck, and dive.
He still didn't win, but he was playfully upset because the kids were jumping up on him, right? So like he's sitting there trying to take the kids off, pew pew pew, and there's like 4 kids just walking behind him, bang bang bang, just racking up their points. So he's just like, I was like, yeah, okay, that's a competitive.
It's like, dude, you got a target on your back,
that's
literally.
Guy. He got him back in football though.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, so football was targeted.
Terry Tate?
Really?
He got him back in football, so it was smooth.
The pain train's coming.
But after that fun was had, and the kids had just a fantastic day. Shouts out to Great Wolf Lodge for hosting that. Shouts out to Make-A-Wish Foundation. Shouts out to Micah for participating in that. I had a sidebar with him, and I asked several questions. I'll leave the best for last as a segue. Mm-hmm. But I did ask him about a comment he made at the back end of last season, because he's already stated that no matter, even if his contract is not done before training camp, he has no plans on holding out. But he also mentioned that he was looking to attend voluntary OTAs, the voluntary program, because I think he understood he caught a lot of flack for not doing so from people like Isaiah Stanback, who wanted him in the building with Mike Zimmer coming in, et cetera. He took that feedback, and he plans to be in the building. So I asked him, I said, hey, with your plans of being available for voluntary OTAs, like what's the significance of that as far as hitting the ground running with the new coaching staff? This is going to be your third defensive coordinator. Yeah. So he was like, and there it is right there. That's the biggest challenge. I have to hit the ground running, and that also goes to mentoring a lot of the guys that are coming in. So obviously, Mozzie, you talk about that, but some of these younger guys, some of the whatever veterans might be added, helping them acclimate to the culture. So love to hear that. It's another stepping stone in the maturity of Micah Parsons that we've seen develop over the past couple of seasons, definitely in 2024. So he's taking that
for sure
step.
Since his injury, basically.
Since his injury, yeah. So now we're moving to the part that set social media on fire.
What was that?
The part that I really, really enjoyed. Micah Parsons wants the Cowboys to be very aggressive in free agency.
Yes.
Very, very aggressive in free agency. And I'm going to pull up this quote. And while I'm pulling up the quote, so I asked him about, because going back to the inaugural press conference of Brian Schottenheimer, Stephen Jones did intimate that they understood that there were lessons to be learned from teams like the Eagles, the 49ers, and the Rams. Yeah. Fast forward, I asked Micah.
We talked about that a little bit last week and kind of the mindset, the thought process.
Yeah. So I asked Micah, and I said,
you heard it here first.
Here on Talkin Cowboys.
Always here on Talkin Cowboys. So I asked Mike, I said, hey, I know there are few humans walking the planet that are more competitive than you. Not that you need any more motivation, but what did seeing the Eagles win the Super Bowl do for you emotionally, and how does that tie into what you would like to see the approach be for this offseason? I'll quote, yeah, that hurts me, man. This is a Cowboys team that over the past couple of years, we kind of got our wins and losses against the Eagles, battle with them. Obviously, the talent is here. We've just got to finish. We got to go be aggressive the same way they did. I don't want to sit back and just watch other people build and build and build, and we stay the same. So definitely we need some kind of call to action, end quote. Chime in, fellas.
I like it. I like it a lot.
I like it a lot.
I don't think it's a surprise that he feels that way. It's definitely not a surprise, and it's the same feeling that everybody else has looking at this team going forward into the future. However, we know what comes along with saying, like, yep, we understand exactly what needs to be done. Yeah. But it's, do we have that room to make it happen?
Yeah. Well, and that brings my question. Is there room to make room? Right? Yes. That's the thought process here with the Cowboys, because I know I've gotten in some Twitter conversations, let's put it that way, with some fans that think that there is a way to just magically clear $100 million plus of cap along the way. There's room to clear cap. There's no doubt about that. $100 million will completely hamstring you for the rest of your current core's thought process. So it will hamstring you to a certain extent. But there's ways that you can make more room here, right?
There is, because number one,
one of them is signing Micah.
Signing Micah will free up
in a timely manner.
Now would free up roughly $18 million.
And he's open to that, right?
Right now,
you had that conversation.
I did have that conversation,
but is his agent open to that? That's the thing.
I think that's a good point, but I think. Based on the conversations that we've had with Micah over the past several months, in addition to the sidebar I had with him at Great Wolf Lodge, I think that Micah's going to apply a little bit of pressure to his agent to try to be open towards getting this deal done sooner than later, because he's already stated he's not looking to be the $40 million a year guy, right? He wants to. He's open to taking a little bit less. So I think that's not only applying pressure to the Cowboys to say, hey, you can't use me as the market setter as a reason to not get this deal done quickly, but it also goes to his agent saying you can't use me as the market setter for the reason to not get this deal done quickly.
Another thing with that, though, if he's so inclined to get it done early, a thing that he's brought up more than once is that I want to make this happen so that we can build and bring other guys in here.
Right, because
you have the opportunity to do that with Micah, but now it's on the Cowboys. And do you want to create any ill will with Micah Parsons if you don't end up getting those guys out there?
Number of things going on here. Number one, I think that you learn more from other people's lessons than you learn from yourself at times.
CD.
The Dallas Cowboys have learned a lesson in watching their conference go out and do things that they probably should have done sooner.
Yep.
You've seen the Eagles, you've seen the Rams, you've seen the 49ers,
Correct.
You've seen other teams.
I would use those three teams as the example,
very much so.
Not like Washington where they had a gajillion dollars of cap room and a new coach.
I'm talking about most recently, right? I'm talking about those three organizations.
That's the bar.
Yeah, those three organizations have shown you over the last
success, and they've paid their players, and they've still found a way to win.
In the last decade, those are the three organizations that have shown you this is the blueprint of nowadays, not of the 90s and the early 2000s. In the 2020 era, this is how you get it done, right? And there's more than one way to skin a cat, and obviously this more aggressive way is working for teams rather than building through the draft. Okay, so the Cowboys have had the benefit of learning from other organizations. In regards to Micah Parsons, in regards to what he just said, he's not going to just sit back, right? It was almost like a shots fired, like, hey, like doggone flame in the air.
Right.
I have seen my comrade in Myles Garrett stick with his organization and show his loyalty and play through two contracts, right?
Yep.
Play through two contracts just to get to the point where he's like, you guys still aren't doing enough. I want out. You learn from other people, and you now are in a position, Micah Parsons, that is, to say, I don't want that to be me.
Thanks.
Right? So I'm going to learn from him so I don't have to do it myself and learn the hard way. I'm going to learn through his example of I'm not going to go through two contracts just to get to the point where I feel like I need to leave where I'm currently at.
Right.
So, I'm in the twilight of my career, baby.
You guys need to make this happen now. On the second part of that, you're talking about Micah Parsons has mentioned that he's willing to take less.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? In order to attract other people.
Let's not say it's a hometown discount.
No, it's not hometown.
That number's still going to be astronomical.
It's still going to be up there.
It's going to be a big number.
But he's not looking to max out.
However, if I'm Micah Parsons, I'm not. If I am in Micah Parsons' situation, I am taking less if you guarantee me that you can go get
this guy.
Example A.
And that's where it boils down to.
It's not I'm freeing up space so that you can go figure out who you think is best. No.
But
if I take less, you're guaranteeing me that you're bringing this individual on the roster.
You're going to go get Pro Bowler here or Pro Bowler there. I'm not playing next to Carl Lawson.
I'm going to give you
some of these other guys.
I'm giving you
Nothing
two
against
people.
Carl Lawson.
Again, this is if I'm Micah Parsons. I will take less if you guarantee me that you secure one of these two individuals on this roster for however many years.
Show me your plan.
Don't play with me, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, don't play with me. I need to see that you have a plan. I need to see that you have an offer, and I need to see it for these two individuals. I don't care which one it is. I'm willing to take money out my own pocket if you can guarantee me that you can get one of these two guys. Otherwise, don't mess with my money. Give me everything that I'm worth.
But like we've talked about, you need to get Micah done first before you do that. What happens, though, if you say, okay, we'll make it happen, you do it, you give him less money than what he's worth, arguably, and then you don't end up getting one?
Oh,
yeah.
What happens to that
scorched earth?
You better have a secondary plan.
Yeah,
that would appease the thought process there and make it happen. We just talked about how much of a competitor he is. We just talked about how much Micah Parsons competes
playing foosball with
literally
kids,
everything.
Playing bowling with kids.
He may be the one running down the hallway to be the first in the line at the cafeteria here at the Star if you're not careful. Like, he is that kind of competitor. You got to ease the competitor nature of it all in order to make him happy, whether or not that's money related or not. So it does. You gotta execute. You gotta execute in free agency. You gotta find a way to still build through the draft, but there's got to be a mesh of the two, which again goes back to our conversation last week around Stephen Jones. He's saying the right things, but until those actions hit the table, I think a lot of Cowboys fans, a lot of Cowboys personnel, a lot of Cowboys players, for that matter, because they've talked about it too. Go get talent.
Yeah.
Go get these guys if you have the opportunity. That would give you the opportunity.
And to put it in perspective that most people can understand. I don't care. I know people are going to, he makes an astronomical. He's going to make a crazy amount of money.
Which he will.
Which he will, right? Regardless. However, it's not basketball money. It's not baseball money. Right. Okay. And I don't care how much money you make. You taking money out of my pocket is going to be a problem. Right. And so if I'm going to sacrifice money out of my pocket, I need to know that the value that I'm giving up, I am gaining it in another area, and I need to know. I'm not leaving it in your hands to figure out. Yeah. I'm telling you.
What's the plan?
This is the plan. Not even what's the plan. This is the plan. I am willing to take $5 million less on what I should be getting annually to make sure that I get one of these two individuals. And understand, if I take a $5 million cut per year, we're talking about $20+ million over the length of the contract.
4 or 5, yeah.
If I take $20 million out of my pocket,
that would be a lot.
I better make sure I'm getting me a high probability that I have a chance to go get a ring.
I think that cut's going to be more like three or four.
Okay, $16 grand, $16 million. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I love that, and that's what I want Micah to do. Apply that type of pressure. I could also see his comments, because he made additional comments to this point, and I quote: "Everyone does not need a max deal. There are great players that can do 1 year or 2 year deals. Obviously, we've seen that this year with other teams. Yep. There's been that trend." End quote. So if you're talking about Micah Parsons, let's say his deal gets done before free agency, which would be ideal, because then you get that $18 million immediately dropped in savings for you to go into free agency and start spending effective immediately. Also, related sidebar, Dak Prescott, his trigger can be pulled, restructured. That's $37 million you can drop in savings into your wallet.
It's likely to be less than 37, because that would be a max restructure.
So approximately.
It'd be it would be something smaller.
So on a max restructure, on a max restructure, approximately $37 million. On a max restructure for CeeDee Lamb, approximately $20 million, give or take. So if you do pull those two triggers and get Micah done, you're floating around $70 to $75 million in available cap space.
And remember, you need about $20 million
for operating costs,
just
basic.
Put some numbers, and then you need about $13 million for your draft. So, and maybe more, because you have some hefty.
You have higher
bids. But
so it'd probably more like 14 or 15.
The whole conversation.
It does. And also keep in mind, so the reason I brought up Micah's secondary quote as far as 1 to 2 year deals, if you get him signed right now, you get $18 million in savings, and you don't have to worry about the first actual hit from his contract until 2026. But if a guy signs on a 1 year deal or even a 2 year deal, it's almost a wash depending on what the size of that contract is. Micah is giving you a ton of flexibility, and he's publicizing the willingness to give you that flexibility. I love it.
Take advantage of it.
Yeah, take advantage, man. God put this here for me and you. Take advantage of it.
I hope it all works out. I really do. But again, we got to see it. The actions have to speak louder than the words, because you've got a clear cap room, just period. Right now you're sitting at what, 9 million or 12 million or something like that.
4 days ago,
he had enough to sign Kyle.
It was minus something. Yeah, like
you got enough to sign Kyle.
You got to pay me. It's part of it. It's part of the whole thing. No,
you're taking $5 million less.
Yeah, we'll see. So I got 3 more mouths to feed this year.
So that your team could be built around you.
I got a great team already. All right. When we come back, we're going to take your calls. 888-855-2297. We want to talk to Cowboys Nation. What's on your mind throughout the offseason? Until we get a call, though, what are you guys doing at pick number 12 right now? Cowboys hold the 12th pick. Where are you going with it? Give us a call, 888-855-2297. More Talking Cowboys right after this.
If you're looking for fresh American roasted coffee that gives back, you need to head to your local grocery store and pick up a bag of Black Rifle coffee. That's right, America's coffee is now available in the coffee aisle of a grocery store near you. Black Rifle Coffee Company is veteran-founded with a mission to give back to those brave men and women who have served our nation. Every bag, box, or can you purchase helps support that mission. Head to your local grocery store and roast yourself some Black Rifle coffee today.
Todd thought it would be secure to jog in the cheetah savanna. Todd believed the big cat repellent he bought online was reliable. And now, Todd is trying to be faster than this cheetah that can run 80 miles per hour. But the good news is, Todd has AT&T 5G that is fast, reliable, and secure. And he learned the best thing to do is stop running and toss her the backpack with the beef stew. AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure.
5G requires compatible plan and device. 5G may not be available in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
It's the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. And right now, Cowboys fans can get 15% off their $75 order. Plus, because every deal needs a playmaker, your order will include a free 5-piece skincare set and free shipping. The Jack Black Playmaker is 4 of Jack's favorites and a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Make a play for the playmaker at getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code Cowboys VIP. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code Cowboys VIP.
If you shout, "How about them Cowboys?" you have that undeniable passion that's the heart of Cowboys Nation. And if you like to drink Dr. Pepper, you love the unique blend of its 23 flavors. Together, your one-of-a-kind fandom paired with the one-of-a-kind taste of a delicious ice-cold Dr. Pepper is the game day lineup that can't be beat. Better yet, gather your Cowboys and Dr. Pepper fan friends to watch the next game and crack open a delicious ice-cold Dr. Pepper for everyone. The wins will be even tastier. It's a pepper thing.
Back to Talkin Cowboys.
Back here on Talking Cowboys, this portion of the show is brought to you by Quaker Oats, the official oatmeal sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys. Quaker Oats, trusted since 1877.
Be a good person. Buy your oatmeal from the interweb using the QR code in the left-hand corner.
Tell them Talking Cowboys sent you. How about that?
Tell them Talking Cowboys.
I don't know if there's like a notes like there. Like
use promo code Talkin Cowboys for 0% off.
It'll actually give you a free error message whenever you type it into the
no
promo codes. Yeah. All right, Patrik Walker, Josh Rodriguez,
Hi.
Isaiah Stanback. I'm Kyle Youmans. Before we take some calls here, I want to ask the question. What are we doing?
What are you doing? What are we doing? I want to ask one simple question. What are you doing?
Who do you think you are?
He hasn't been in an Italian household at all.
Yeah. What are you doing?
Huh?
What are you doing? I'm talking over
I married into the Italian family. That was my choice. All right. The thought process around 12. Pick number 12 in the NFL draft. Of course, the last time you picked
Aaron Rodgers?
12. No.
Oh.
He was 8 last year. The last time you picked at 12, you picked up a guy named Micah Parsons back in 2021. Of course, you started at 10, traded back to 12, and that's where you ended up. So if you were to guess right now, the NFL Combine is next week. We'll talk more about maybe some of the guys that are going to stand out at the Combine next week. But this is the first time I've brought up draft on this show specifically. What position group do you think most fits at the 12th overall pick for this franchise, for this team?
I would grab a receiver.
Okay.
That's me. I would grab a receiver because I think that as the conversation we had last week.
Oh, yeah, we did talk about that a little bit.
You need somebody who can come in and contribute at a high level to accompany what CeeDee Lamb is going to put out there. And I don't believe that you want to spend your cap that you're going to create, this cap space, on a receiver.
Okay.
Right? So I think that if you're going to chase a receiver, go use the draft to go get a guy that can develop or not develop, be a contributor from
We're
day
not developing
one. Yeah, not developing. Be a
especially at
contributor
12.
from day one.
You better be starting.
Yeah, you'd be starting on day one opposite of CD because I don't think that the market's just gone crazy at the receiver market. You can't go get that in free agency and think that you're going to have the space to do all the other things that you want to do.
Yeah. And we talked about that last week in the thought process of needs this offseason. We didn't do draft And that was very
Well, we're
much
talking
so.
specifically about 12.
We're talking about at pick number 12, and wide receiver fits that mold.
It does.
Running back would definitely fit
Who's
that
going to
mold.
run the ball?
With one guy that would fit the mold at 12. One guy. His name
For me,
just happens to be Ashton
Genty.
Yeah.
Ashton Genty of Boise State fame. Ashton Genty of the same Boise State that was attended by the current offensive coordinator, Clayton Adams.
And the current head coach
And
of the
the
New
current
Orleans
head
Saints.
Well, yeah, fair enough. That's fair.
They got a running back.
Yeah, they do.
They do got a running back.
He's old.
Kamara.
Hey, against us?
Hey, he was
You know,
great.
Against us?
Yeah, that team
Week 2?
that team was great against the Cowboys. How did they do the rest of the year?
Yeah.
You
not
take
very
Alvin
good.
Kamara. Stop it. You
Just show them the
Alvin
tape
Kamara.
from week 2.
I'm taking Ashton Genty.
I would take anybody at this point.
I'm taking Ashton.
Because who's going to run the ball?
Listen. If Genty's gone, exactly.
I thought
who's
going
to run the ball? You got to pound the table with.
Oh, I got
Who's going to run the ball, Isaiah? If Genty is going at 12, I'm with you on wide receiver. Okay, but only if Genty is going at 12.
I respect that.
At pick 12?
Yeah.
I'm going to cheat a little bit.
Do it.
I'm sorry.
Cheater.
I want more picks.
Pumpkin eater.
Oh, you're trading back.
I want more picks.
Oh.
And I'm not talking a big trade. I'm not talking huge. My.
So you're saying drop
You
down?
tuck the hair back?
Drop down to 25th and pick up a
No,
second.
no. Nothing like that.
That's a drop.
Like Kyle just brought up, when you traded in that season for
15.
Micah,
12 to 15.
you traded 3 picks. Something to that effect.
You picked up a third.
I need to pick up that 4th. I need
want it
that
back?
4th back.
You want it back? Yeah.
I want my picks back. Give me a Kevin Costner on draft day. You know what I'm saying?
I think you're going to flip your 5s to get your 4.
You could do that.
Think
You're
so?
going to have probably 3 5s.
Yeah, I think you're going to flip your 5s. To
The
get your 4.
I'd move back just a couple spots, maybe at the most
saying
3 to
15.
5.
I like the thought process there. I'm going to tell you how much.
If Genty's gone.
How far back you would have to go.
Tell me.
In order to get a 4, you would need to go back. You could go from 12 to 15.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
That's not that far back.
Give me what I want.
12 to 15.
I want my 4 back.
Maybe.
And you're still picking a quality player at 15.
And honestly, like, I would want an overpay. I would want somebody to come in and give me more than just the 4. Like, give me a 3.
Who has 13 or 14?
And, give me 2 seconds.
So my thing.
Give me that in a solid number 2 wide receiver. Okay.
My thing.
13 is Miami. 14 is Indianapolis. Indianapolis.
No, but neither one of those teams need a running back.
Right.
No. They're not coming up to get Genty.
I know. I'm just saying, like, so the probability.
You'd still have a running back to pick.
Be better to work with them than one of the other teams.
The next team that could use a running back is probably Arizona at 16, because Atlanta's at 15 and they've got Bijan. So you've got 15. Miami, Indianapolis, Atlanta, and 13, 14, 15. Arizona's sitting there at 16. If Genty's at 16, I think Arizona's taking that pick.
Yeah.
That's why we go 15, baby.
Yeah, so 15 is the sweet spot for you.
Don't go back past 15.
No.
If Genty's there, I think I'm sticking and picking.
Yeah.
At 12.
Stick it, pick it.
Yeah,
There's a couple
100%.
guys. We've
I'm
talked
not
about this on.
risking Genty.
Yeah,
If
we've
he's
talked
there,
about
I'm
this a
taking
couple times. If Genty's gone, I think I'm open to
then
the
I'm
conversation.
open to going back.
There might be 1 or 2 guys outside of Genty. I really like Tetaroa McMillan out of Arizona, wide receiver.
Yep.
I think he's Mike Evans. I would go take that guy because I think he's the perfect complement for CeeDee Lamb. If he's there at 12, I'm sticking and picking. Couple offensive linemen that are up there at the draft. I don't think they'll get there because it's very thin top level in terms of offensive linemen early in this draft. I think if there's a couple names there, maybe. The only other names that would be worth it would be, gosh, that's tough. Maybe an edge rusher, something like that. And that would just be to be opposite of Micah. Like, I think I would rather trade back in that scenario.
You said
if
Nolan
those guys
wasn't in
are
that
gone.
spot, right?
No, I'm not.
Old Miss, right?
Yeah, I think he's a late first round. If you want to trade back and pick up a haul and go to like 20, then I could talk about Walter Nolan.
I feel like
but that would take multiple picks.
I feel like if Genty is there, McMillan isn't. If McMillan is there, Genty isn't. I don't know that I see.
That's a good point.
Both being gone
before 12.
And I've mentioned this before.
What about before 15 though?
So if I wouldn't risk Genty. I'm almost there with Kyle. I'm like 99% there with Kyle on McMillan. I don't know that I'd risk McMillan in a jump back from 12 to 15. But then
there's a couple.
But then I also, looking at my board, you got Egbuka from Ohio State. Yeah. Matthew Golden is going to be on the board. So I think I would be more. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I like
in
Golden
a trade.
too.
In a
I've got
trade
a
back.
first on.
But we're
Golden.
talking about a trade back.
Yeah,
we're not talking about taking
correct.
Golden like a 12 in a trade back.
I think Golden will be there.
So I think that I would be more comfortable if Genty is gone, and now I'm looking at the receiver portion of the conversation, okay, I could probably be more comfortable going 12 to 15 and still getting one of these top receivers. And then I'm on the Isaiah train at that point.
Now, question, and this is kind of opposite, not necessarily opposite, but at 12, where you're picking right now, probability of an offensive lineman right there?
At 12?
Yeah.
Probability?
Yeah.
Like one that's worth picking, or that you would pick one?
Do you think there is a probability of the Cowboys picking an offensive lineman?
I'd say 20%. I think it's a pretty high probability.
Really?
Just because I don't know if they are sold on the future of Zach, whether he returns or not. I don't think they're sold on the future of Zach. Even if that's the case, and you say, oh, but what about Brock Hoffman and TJ Bass?
What about the depth?
I think both of those guys are great. But if they're filling the role of Zach Martin, then you don't have any more depth.
Yeah.
And there's a question around Terrence Steele. There's a question around Tyler Guyton. That's 3 of your 5 starting offensive linemen. And the other guy just switched positions as his rookie season came to a close, of course, with Cooper Beebe or came into fruition.
And I think that changes whether or not you decide to cut Terrence Steele, which saves you money on the cap, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, it would if you cut Terrence.
I'm only repeating that because I've heard that.
No, it would. I mean, we're just objectively.
How many
speaking,
years has it been since he had his contract? 3? 2? Jeez.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I mean, he's still actually
he's played through 2 full seasons.
Yeah, he's still in that restructure window actually. Or you could approach him for a pay reduction. I mean,
was he making a year?
I don't have his contract right in front of me.
Something crazy, right?
I'll pull it up.
But
I mean, it's a middle.
But I don't. So the problem with entertaining release or waiving Terrence Steele, releasing Terrence Steele, is everything Kyle just said. You need to see Tyler Guyton in year 2. He has some struggles, has some injury issues he battled through. In Zach Martin, even if Zach Martin doesn't retire physically, he's not back at form. So you can't risk moving on from Terrence Steele with these other issues going on your offensive line as well.
His cap hit for the next 3 seasons, 18, 21, and then 18.
Yeah, that's pretty big. You
can't get rid of Steele though, because you don't have nobody to put.
That's what I'm saying. Like you're not in a good situation across the offensive line enough where you can sit back and be like, yeah, our starting right tackle, who also showed signs of getting back to his form on the back end of last season. You're not in a position to let that guy go when you know you have other things to the left of him.
I still think T still got some dog in him.
100%.
Absolutely.
I 100% agree. We're just talking objectively. I personally would not move on from Terrence Steele. I would figure out a way to rework the contract, whether that be restructure or pay reduction or whatever the case.
If you give the potential out for now, this year, this offseason, it would be a $9.3 million
savings.
A dead cap hit.
Okay, so that's not that bad.
Like I genuinely am excited to see the impact that these coaches, these O-line specific coaches, are going to have on this unit. Because I think that as long as you have guys that are
brought in,
I know. And the reason why, if you have guys that are capable and guys who are willing, I think that you can take that natural dog that's in them and bring it out and make them a doggone monster. So I like the Bass. I like the Hoffman. You have some guys in there who've shown you the grit. They've shown you the ability to block some of the best in the league. With great coaching from not just one great coach. I'm talking about 2, 3 coaches that literally all they do is focus on the running the game and developing offensive linemen. I'm excited about that. So the likelihood of Martin retiring is most likely high, I would imagine, or not coming back, whatever you want to lean on there. I'm okay with that void that's going to be left, because there was a void for a majority of the season. I feel good about the offensive line and what they've invested there. So I wouldn't personally invest in an O lineman with that 12th pick or dropping back. I want positions that are harder to develop, harder to pick right. It's very difficult. It's very difficult to pick a receiver, man. Like and that's the reason why I kind of shy away from the running back side. Most teams have how many running backs that they cycle through? Multiple. Yeah. There's very few teams that have just that one guy who's just that's your main dude, right? There's a handful of the backs.
That's the pull of Ashton Jeanty, is he would be that dude.
Correct. Because right now, with Rico Dowdle not under contract, we talked about who you have. You have Deuce, Hunter, and Malik Davis. You don't have any that you can run through.
I just think,
but outside of CeeDee Lamb, who you got?
You're not getting. Go watch Talking from last
subjectively.
Tuesday.
No. Like, I just think that it's harder.
You at least have bodies.
It's harder to pick
you don't
right
have
at receiver.
Bodies at running back.
It is. For every Justin Jefferson, there's a Josh Rager. For every CeeDee Lamb, there's a Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah.
You know, like, I mean, those guys will happen. They will not happen.
You have to have a two.
Part of it.
You have to have a 1-2 punch at receiver.
Yeah.
You have to.
I just ran a simulation just for funsies. Just for funsies. I would trade back in the simulation. Just out of here's the guys that are gone: Cam Ward, Abdul Carter, Travis Hunter, Tetaroa McMillan, Malachi Starks, Luther Burden, Mason Graham, Will Campbell, Mike Green, Ashton Genty gone at 10 to the Bears. Jahdae Barron is gone at 11. You don't have anybody. I'm trading back.
I'm moving back.
Give me.
I'm moving back.
But also the thought process there is, who are they going to come up to go get?
Yeah, I'm moving back.
So there's a couple of thought process or a couple of things on the thought process.
Back.
I guess Sanders would be on the board there, too. So maybe if somebody wants a quarterback, come get Shedeur Sanders. All right, we're going to take our second break. We apologize for not getting the calls on this segment, but we will talk about it when we come back. Taking your calls for the final segment of Talkin Cowboys, 888-855-2297, right after this.
Todd thought it would be secure to jog in the cheetah savanna. Todd believed the big cat repellent he bought online was reliable. And now, Todd is trying to be faster than this cheetah that can run 80 miles per hour. But the good news is, Todd has AT&T 5G that is fast, reliable, and secure. And he learned the best thing to do is stop running and toss her the backpack with the beef stew. AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure.
5G requires compatible plan and device. 5G may not be available in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
They say champions are remembered, but legends are never forgotten. United Ag and Turf offers a winning lineup of John Deere equipment built to tackle any challenge on and off the field. Legendary John Deere tractors, combines, residential mowers, commercial mowers, compact construction equipment, Gator utility vehicles, and a full line of golf and sports turf equipment. United Ag and Turf, the official Ag and Turf equipment supplier of the Dallas Cowboys. Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com to find a location near you.
Hey y'all, Matt Pittman of Meat Church here. With football season kicking off, I'm already gearing up to bring the smoker back to AT&T Stadium for some epic tailgates. But with that Texas heat, it's crucial to keep my beer hand cramping cold. That's where Yeti's insulated Colster can cooler comes in clutch. This year, you can even get them with the iconic star engraved on the side. Licensed Yeti Cowboys gear is now available at Stadium Pro Shops, concessions, and on Yeti.com. Check it out today. Yeti, official cooler and drinkware of the Dallas Cowboys.
And we're going to overtime.
Erica, how much have I spent on concessions?
For questions about their money, Dallas Cowboys fans can turn to Erica, the virtual financial assistant in the Bank of America mobile banking app. Learn more at bankofamerica.com/Erica by your side. Bank of America, official bank of the Dallas Cowboys. Erica responses may vary. Digital tools featured require downloading the mobile banking app and may only be available on select mobile devices. Erica is a mobile feature only available in the English language. Your chat may be recorded and monitored for quality assurance. Message and data rates and additional terms may apply. Bank of America, N.A., member FDIC.
Back to Talkin Cowboys.
Back here on Talking Cowboys, this portion of the show brought to you by Invisalign, the official smile of the Dallas Cowboys. Let's get to our phone line. We got a couple minutes left. Nebby, you're on Talking Cowboys. What's going on, Nebby?
Hi, guys. Thank you so much for taking my call. First of all, since it's his birthday today, I want to give a shout out to my brother. I love you so much. Happy birthday. And second of all, I know this is not going to happen, but I would love for us to draft Tyler Warren, the tight end, out of Penn State. But since I know that's not going to happen, I want us to either select the running back from Boise State or the wide receiver out of the University of Missouri, my man Mickey Spagnola's alma mater. Oh, and one last thing I want to say before I go, and that is I love the coaching staff that we've built around Brian Schottenheimer. So I am definitely going to give Brian Schottenheimer a chance hopefully this upcoming season we can shock the world and be the kind of team I firmly believe we can be. Take care. Thank you so much for being patient with me, and have a great week.
Thanks, Nebby.
I love you all. Bye.
Love you too, Nebby. Appreciate you the call, as always. Yeah, I mean, giving Brian Schottenheimer a shot, no pun intended, that's kind of the thought process behind, I think, all of us here, right? I mean,
100%.
We were very adamant initially. The Mike McCarthy era was not a bad era. But we all knew the shortcomings there in the playoffs.
A lot of winning football in that era.
A lot of winning football. We didn't necessarily want to move on, and part of why we didn't want to move on was because of what he had established here. There's still things established here now that Schottenheimer has stuck around. I'm not making the point that, hey, it was Schottenheimer or nobody, but at least giving him a shot before you kind of come to conclusions and you make those early thought process
and you
negative.
Have to love the coaching staff that they've built.
I love the staff. And that was one of my biggest questions was X's and O's. How is that going to work out with Brian Schottenheimer? And one of the things I said was if you build a staff underneath him that is good in the X's and O's department, then I will feel much better about this hire, and they've certainly done that.
And we get to hear from the coordinators for the first time today.
We do.
Like in less than an hour.
Hours, yeah.
We'll be up on DallasCowboys.com. Please check that out.
Boom. All right, let's get to our second call. This is Erwin in Colorado. Erwin, you're on Talkin Cowboys.
Hey, good morning, guys. How you guys doing?
Great, buddy.
Hey, so just a couple things. I would like to get some good feedback from you guys. I normally call on Storyline and talk with Nick, but I want.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, but kind of like one of those guys that really listen to. I listen to all the shows, but I really like listening to Nick.
We appreciate you.
Love it.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, so just a couple of things. If the fans know anything, and you guys can confirm this, if Jerry Jones doesn't sign Micah Parsons to a contract here pretty quick and it drags out through training camp, we pretty much know how this is going to go. And the other thing I wanted to touch on, I wanted to push back on Isaiah, and I hate to do this, but he mentioned
that you're going to do it. I love it.
Yeah, you mentioned something earlier about the Cowboys have learned from other teams recently. History has shown us that they have not learned from other teams like the Eagles, the 49ers, and teams that have been real competitive last few years. Because truly, if they've learned from those things, they would have done the things that you guys have been talking about. And I just thanks for taking my call, and really appreciate it.
Thanks for the call, man. So I don't believe that you can witness the things that you've witnessed from other organizations and not learn. Whether or not you apply that knowledge, that's a completely different conversation.
The opportunity to learn is there, and it has been there.
Yes.
And
the proof is in the pudding.
And they've acknowledged it on several occasions. They've acknowledged what other teams are doing, and they have things are done differently here, and they've talked about that. It's the action, right? With no doubt they've learned it.
Well, and that goes back to the Stephen Jones conversation we had last week. He's saying all the right things. He's saying things need to change because we haven't gotten the job done. That was part of his conversation directly to us at the Senior Bowl in Mobile was we haven't gotten the job done, so something needs to change along the way. Well, this is where you can show that change along the way. And like we said, too, actions will speak louder whenever they come. But if they don't come, that's when there's going to be criticism. And they will have criticism if they do not have
and deservedly
the action.
So.
And that's part of the criticism that they're going to welcome. The one action they can control right this second has been the coaching staff. Check that box. It looks great. I like what we've done. The second action you can do is sign Micah Parsons. We'll see if they check that box down the line. Then from that point forward, the dominoes can fall as they may. But at least right now, they're 1 for 1, but they're at bat for their second try.
The tag window's open today.
That's open today?
Yeah.
And just a little clarity.
They're not going to tag.
I know.
Yeah, that was
there's nobody to
nobody.
Tag.
The only
They're not playing Duck Duck Goose.
Here's the tag that's going to happen, and prepare for this over the next couple of years. The tag will happen next year with a guy named Brandon Aubrey.
Ooh.
That's my prediction. I think they will tag him because it makes sense to tag your kicker, and people do it all.
Because the average kicker salary is not going to be
top 5 of the average. And
it's not like tagging a defensive end or something.
Correct.
How many guys get restructured this year, this offseason?
3.
Oh, probably
prediction.
5.
Oh.
Yeah.
What you got 3?
I'm going 3.
They're going to go aggressive, I think, because they don't like it when the Eagles win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I could see it. I could see 4 or 5, but I think that 4th and or 5th is based upon the spending that occurs after you pull the first.
I would agree with that.
I'll take the over. I'm going to go 53.
Whoa,
what?
Play Jeopardy.
my God.
That's not Jeopardy. That's roulette. I mean, you're throwing a number at a board.
53. Restructure. Yeah. No.
53 numbers, red or black.
Yes. Find me some money.
But really quick, so Isaiah mentioned it, and he's correct. Today starts the first day of Cowboys and any team being able to apply the tag, not only the franchise tag, but transition tag as well. The deadline to complete or make that designation is March 4th by 4 p.m. Eastern time. So
is there anybody to tag?
It's not expected that the Cowboys. I know there's been a dialogue, a discourse on Twitter here over the past couple of days, wondering if the Cowboys could use a tag on Osa. But the franchise tag at defensive tackle is over $23 million.
Woo!
So don't see that. Even the transition tag it's less expensive, but it's still costly because it's roughly around $18 million for the transition.
You like
tag.
Osa, but I don't know if you like him.
Right. And the quick difference: franchise tag, if it's an exclusive, nobody can negotiate. If it's a non-exclusive franchise tag, they can negotiate, but the price is still higher. Transition tag, lower price, but the offer can be made from someone else. And if it's not matched, the Cowboys lose him and get no compensation.
How soon? Just for clarity for fans, how soon can you extend Micah?
Now.
You can do it
yesterday.
You can do it
yesterday.
Do it now.
While he was bowling with Make-A-Wish kids.
That'd have been perfect.
Right. Would have been awesome.
So there's no advantage to waiting on it. You just do it right now.
There is a penalty for waiting though, because you don't get the savings right now, and then if you wait until next offseason to do it, the contract expires, then there's no savings, no reward. It's all cap hit.
I just mean between now and March. There's no
that
or April
extension needs to happen now. Prior to what date?
Do it
to reap the benefits.
I mean
salary cap window and the new year, that's all March 10th, I believe.
March 15th.
So
March 15th. So March 10th is legal tampering.
So an extension for Micah Parsons needs to happen before
March 10th, probably.
Yeah, you would like it to happen before March 10th, so you can know the money you have to start legally tampering.
Okay, cool. That's what I want the people to know. March 10th is what we're looking for.
Ideally, yes.
We'll see you then.
We'll see you next week. More Talking Cowboys next week for Isaiah Stanback, Josh Rodriguez, Patrik Walker, Chris Beam. I'm Kyle Youmans saying so long. We'll see you next week with more Talking Cowboys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club. How about this,